They say a bus driver's job is simple: pick up kids, drop them off, and drive away. But what happens when one man notices something no one else sees? When daily tears on a child's face whisper a silent cry for help, and the choice to act or ignore could mean life or death. This is the true story of Walter Harmon, a retired mechanic turned school bus driver, a man who refused to look the other way, and a decision that uncovered a dark secret hiding in plain sight. Tonight, we journey through the 90-minute unraveling of a mystery that began with a little girl crying quietly at the back of a yellow bus and ended in a dramatic rescue that shocked an entire town. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will not only keep you at the edge of your seat, but will also remind you why vigilance, courage, and compassion can change the course of a life forever. Walter Harmon was not your average bus driver. At 62, with decades as a mechanic behind him, retirement didn't suit him. He loved being around people, especially kids. So when Willow Glen Intermediate School needed a driver, Walter took the job. It wasn't about the paycheck, it was about purpose. And every morning, as he rolled down the familiar suburban streets, he greeted his passengers with the same warm smile. But soon, one face broke his heart. Her name was Rory Carson, just 12 years old, new to the school, quiet, withdrawn, always sitting alone, and every single day she cried. At first, Walter thought maybe she was homesick or adjusting to a new environment. But day after day, the tears didn't stop. He noticed her shrinking into herself, her small shoulders shaking, her hands trembling as she tried to hide her face from the other kids. But Walter had been around long enough to know children don't cry like that for no reason. One morning, he noticed something strange. As the bus emptied at each stop, Rory sank lower and lower in her seat. And then, when almost everyone was gone, he heard a faint metallic clang beneath her. Something was under that seat. Walter's instincts kicked in. Something was very wrong. That afternoon, Walter decided to act. When the bus finally rolled to Rory's stop, he watched carefully. Her stepfather, Greg Whitmore, was waiting. The man's presence was commanding, tall, broad-shouldered, with a sharp, dismissive look in his eye. Greg whisked Rory off the bus without so much as a greeting to Walter. Something about his demeanor, cold, almost rehearsed. Walter couldn't shake the image of Rory's tears. That night, as he checked the bus for lost jackets and backpacks, he remembered the clang. Slowly, he crouched beneath her seat. What he found nearly stopped his heart. A blister pack of birth control pills. Hidden, forgotten, left behind. Walter froze. A child that young. Why would she need those? And why was she hiding them? He tucked the pack carefully into a bag, his mind racing. Tomorrow, he would speak to the school. Someone had to listen. The next morning, Walter met with the school principal. He laid everything on the table. Rory's crying, her strange behavior, the pills. But the principal dismissed it. Walter, you're overthinking this. She's new, adjusting. Kids go through phases. You can't jump to conclusions. Walter walked out of that office, shaking with frustration. How could they not see what he saw? That afternoon, fate intervened. Walter spotted Rory after school, walking home alone. Her steps were slow, her face pale. He pulled up beside her in his car and asked if she was okay. She shook her head, eyes filling with tears. Before she could answer, a passing couple misread the situation, accusing Walter of bothering her. As Walter tried to explain, Rory suddenly bent over a garbage bin, vomiting. Walter's concern skyrocketed. Something was gravely wrong. That night, Walter couldn't sleep. He replayed every detail in his head. The tears, the pills, Greg's cold stare, the sickness. Finally, he picked up the phone and dialed 911. Something's happening to this girl, he told the dispatcher. She's not safe. You need to help her. Police took down the information, promising to investigate. But the very next day, Walter saw something that made his blood run cold. Greg, leading Rory, not home, not to school, but toward an old maintenance shed in the park. Walter followed from a distance, pulse racing. And then he saw 3 other men waiting. The door shut, locked. Walter's chest tightened. He knew he didn't have minutes to waste. He dialed 911 again, his voice trembling as he begged the police to hurry. Red and blue lights tore through the night. Police stormed the shed. Shouts, screams, doors kicked open. Walter stood frozen as Greg and the men were dragged out in handcuffs. And then Rory emerged. Her small frame shook with fear, but her eyes, those tear-streaked eyes, locked onto Walter. And for the first time, there was something new. Relief. Walter exhaled, tears burning his own eyes. She was safe. At the hospital, Rory's mother and grandmother learned the devastating truth. Rory was pregnant. The abuse had been going on for months, hidden behind closed doors, overlooked by those too busy or too blind to notice. But because Walter acted, it stopped. Rory's mother wept as she thanked him. And Walter, voice trembling, told Rory, "You are not alone. No matter what, your mother loves you. And I'll be here too." Those words mattered more than he ever knew. Walter Harmon's story is not just about a bus driver. It's about what happens when an ordinary person chooses to act. He could have looked away. He could have told himself it wasn't his business. But he didn't. And because of that, a young girl was saved. Rory's journey was far from over. There would be healing, decisions, and scars that time could never erase. But she had a chance. And that chance existed because one man paid attention. So the next time you see someone in pain, don't ignore it. Don't dismiss it. You never know what's happening beneath the surface. One moment of courage can change everything. This is the story of Walter Harmon, the bus driver who became a hero. If this story moved you, share it. Someone out there may need to hear it today. And remember, sometimes the greatest heroes wear no capes, only the resolve to do what's right. Thank you for watching. Stay vigilant, stay kind, and never underestimate the power of one person's choice to make a difference.